Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from SmartCon in New York City. Joining me to wrap up our coverage, we have Nick Ducoff. He is the head of institutional growth at Solana Foundation. We're here to discuss a renewed momentum and institutional interest in Solana's ecosystem. Nick, it's great to see you as always.
Thank you so much for
Welcome
having
to
me.
Trade Talks. Great way to cap off our 2025 coverage at SmartCon. What do you think is driving institutions to take a closer look at Solana's ecosystem?
Yeah, so the technology's always been there, the speed, the cost, the resilience, the decentralization. But the thing that I think is really drawing institutions in now is they can see the longevity. Solana's been up for 5 years. It's the most used blockchain in the world. You've got institutional adoption among every single front on the asset, on the blockchain. And the thing we heard today on the panel here at SmartCon, we had State Street, Galaxy, and the CME Group on a panel that was titled, why institutions are leaning into Solana. And the thing they said is client demand. They said they're seeing the pull. People are saying, I want to use the Solana blockchain. Help me do it.
I mean, Solana's known for its speed, scalability, which of course is a key theme here. What do you see as its biggest advantage for institutional adoption?
Yeah, so I think the thing that we've always been focused on is bringing global liquidity together in a single venue at the layer one, allowing all global market participants to trade 24/7. And I think when you've got both retail and institutions, being able to, combine in the same venue, that leads to a lot of explosive growth and useful applications.
When you hear the word customer demand, I mean, that certainly, that validates it, that's for sure. What are some of your main takeaways for the themes that stood out this year?
Yeah, I mean, Chainlink always does such a great job with SmartCon, and this year was no different. I think the thing that is really true this year than maybe in years past, a bit less so, is that everybody today is building in live environments to scale. We're behind the sandbox era of institutional blockchain activity, and we're in the scaling era. And I think that's another thing that is leading to the demand for Solana, is because once you're building for true scale, there are not many blockchains that can support that at the level that these financial institutions need. And of course, Solana has the ability to scale essentially to infinity.
Yeah, it's interesting. The conversations certainly have matured. I mean, hearing more about data and privacy and governance, security, interoperability, because to your point, it is happening now, right? And these solutions need to be put into place. When you look ahead and you see Solana's role evolving, let's call it over the next in digital assets, whether it's traditional finance, on-chain ecosystems converging, what do you think it's going to look like in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so we had a really nice moment last week. The Grayscale and Bitwise ETFs launched at the New York Stock Exchange. Bitwise was very gracious to invite us to the New York Stock Exchange to ring the bell with them. And, we had a lot of the builders in the ecosystem as part of that. And we really see that as day one. Every day is day one. It's kind of like Jeff Bezos' Amazon mantra. And, Solana's here. Solana's on Wall Street. The Bitwise ETF saw over $500 million of inflows in the first week of trading. What made it the #1 ETF launch of 2025.
I was going to say that's got to be a record.
Yeah. And I think that we're just getting started with adoption at true scale on Solana. And so the next chapter is really just the acceleration of the great work that builders all over the world have been doing on Solana. And now we're really bringing Wall Street with us.
I would imagine understanding the operating environment, having legislative work come into play, and there's momentum there. Certainly, huge. I mean that's a massive catalyst.
Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, between Trump's executive actions as well as the Genius Act, which of course is bipartisan legislation, Congress, it's really made the United States more competitive for blockchain and crypto activity. And love seeing more of that being brought back here to the United States, brought back here to New York City, and it just makes everybody better because global competition is ultimately what drives innovation. And I'm just so grateful that that's conducive to being happening here in the United States.
All right. Appreciate the insight as always, Nick. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me from SmartCon. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.